Assalamualaikum and very good morning. Today we are going to learn new unit, that is journey. So we go to the question 2. You have to complete the you have to fill in the blanks with the words, the correct word, by listening to the audio that will be played later. The audio should be 2.41. Read and listen. Complete the sentences with words from exercise 1. So you can search or you can use the words from exercise 1 to fill the blanks in exercise 2. So I will play the audio 2.41.
Vocabulary and speaking. Transport. Exercise 2.
7 cool ways to get around.
The Amish people don't use cars. They prefer to travel the old-fashioned way by horse and carriage.
Lisbon is famous for its green form of public transport, the tram.
The best way to see the Greek islands is by yacht.
You get a great view of the Sahara Desert in a hot air balloon.
These Irish travellers live in a caravan and take it with them wherever they go.
In London, the quickest way to get around is on the Underground, which is also called the Tube.
Chinese people like travelling by bicycle because it's cheap and healthy.
So, for number 1, picture number 1, the answer is horse and carriage. Number 2 is tram. Number 3 is yacht. Number 4, hot air balloon. Number 5, caravan. Number 6, the underground. And number 7 is bicycle. So if you listen carefully, then you can get the answer. For question 3, answer the questions. Which form of transport? So you have to find out the type of transports by referring to the question 1 until 5. Okay, number 1, carries large, heavy things from one place to another. So the answer is lorry. Number 2, transports people by air in an emergency. The answer is helicopter. And then number 3 is a fast, noisy vehicle for 1 or 2 people. So it's a motorbike. Number 4, carries people and cars on short journeys across the sea. So the answer is ferry. And number 5, takes large group of passengers on long journeys by road. Okay, so the answer is coach. So coach is the smaller than a bus. So for question 4, which form of transport do you use in these situations? Write sentences. So you have to create your own answer based on your experience or based on your observation around you. First, for example, I go to school by bicycle. Number 1, I go to school by a motorbike, for example. Or number 2, I go shopping by taxi. I go to the beach by ATV. I visit my friends with my bicycle. Or I go on holiday by bus, for example. That's the answer. You can answer by your own. Okay, you create your own answer. Okay, that's all for question page 74. For next exercise, we have to read the article about journey into the modern world. So I will play the audio 2.42. You have to listen and check the answer to answer question 2. That is copy and complete the notes about Andrew. So let's listen the audio 2.42.
Reading. A feature article. Exercise 1.
Journey into the modern world. Channel 4 follows a group of Amish teenagers as they leave their homes in the USA for the first time to travel to Britain.
Who are the Amish?
The Amish are a group of people in the USA who live very simply. often on farms, far away from big cities. They prefer the old-fashioned way of life and avoid using a lot of modern gadgets. They don't have cars and usually travel around by horse and carriage. Amish teenagers spend most of their time with their families. Girls do a lot of household chores, like cooking and cleaning, while the boys help their fathers with jobs outside.
Meet Andrew Miller.
Andrew is 18. He's never used a computer, had a TV in his home, or owned a mobile phone. He doesn't wear fashionable clothes or listen to rock music. He prefers hunting with his bow and arrow and ice fishing. Andrew has lived in the state of Mississippi all his life and hasn't been to a big city before. He's never been to school either. His father taught him at home with his 12 brothers and sisters. Along with 4 other Amish teenagers, Andrew is about to go on a journey to Britain, which will change his life forever. Andrew's curious to find out what life in Britain is really like. I've read about the history of England in books, but I've heard terrible things about the English, he says. When he goes back home, he will decide whether or not he wants to continue living in the Amish society.
The trip.
First, Andrew is going to stay in London. He'll stay with the family of a British teenager who is interested in fashion and rap music and likes playing video games. During the rest of his stay in Britain, Andrew will have the chance to visit a nightclub, go to a music festival, and try some traditional British sports.
Watch Channel 4 on Friday at 8 p.m. to see how Andrew gets on.
So that's the audio for article Journey into the Modern World. So let's answer question 2. Copy and complete the notes about Andrew. Name, Andrew Miller. Age. So age is 18 years old. Andrews is 18 here in the text here. Okay, then comes from Mississippi. Okay, family, his father and his 12 brothers and sisters. Hobbies, he prefers hunting with his bow and arrow and ice fishing. And reasons for visiting Britain, to find out what life in Britain's life is really like. Okay, that's the answer for question 2. For exercise 3, read the text again. Are the sentences true or false? Correct the false sentences. Number 1. Amish children help their parents at home. Yes, true. It's true. Number 2. Amish people don't use any transports. It's false because when you look at the article here, they usually travel around by horse and carriage, and a lot of Amish teenagers use rollerblades. Okay. Number 3, Andrews like watching TV. False, because Andrew has never had a TV in his life. Number 4, Andrew has been to Britain before. False, because Andrew has never been to Britain before when you read in the article. And number 5, Andrew is going to stay with a British family. The answer is true. So, question number 4. How is Andrew different from most teenagers? Write 5 differences. Okay, number 1. The possible answer is he's never used a computer. That's different from the other teenagers, Britain teenagers. Number 2. He's never had a TV in his home because most of us already have a TV in our home. Okay, number 3. He's never owned a mobile phone. Okay, as for nowadays, by using the internet, all the teenagers actually have a mobile phone. Okay, by either her father's phone or a mother's phone or his own phone. Number 4, he doesn't wear fashionable clothes. And number 5, he's never been to school. Okay, that's the differences between Andrew as an Amish teenagers compared to the Britain teenagers. For the next exercise is about grammar. We learn about present perfect, affirmative and negative. For example, use of the present perfect. Okay, use of the present perfect. We use the present perfect to talk about things in the past when we don't say exactly when they happen. So we don't mention the time here. Okay, so affirmative, I've read about England in books. He, she, or it had lesson at home. You, we, they have lived all their life in the USA. So in negative statement, I haven't visited a big city. He or she, it hasn't used a computer. You or we or they haven't traveled by plane. So what you can see here, after use the word have, okay, the verb followed by the have should be added the word ed. Okay, I haven't visited. They haven't traveled with ed. They live with ed. Okay, so that's the difference between present perfect tense. So look at the table and answer the questions. What are VE and S short for? So VE is stand for have or has, and S stand for has. So what do we add to the end of regular verbs in the present perfect? We add ed, such as use. We just add d. Travel, we add ed at the end of the word travel. Okay. Live, we add d at the end of the word live. So that's the what we do when we use the present perfect tense. So number 2, question 2. Read the spelling rules on page 83 and look at the regular verbs list on page 126. Then write the past participles of these verbs. Go. So the past participle for go is gone. Okay. Make, M-A-D-E. See, seen. Do, done. Laugh with ed. Come. Give, given. Want, wanted. And think, thought. So that's the past participle for all these words. Question 3. Read the sentences about the Andrew Miller and choose the correct words. His parents had or have. Because his parents is plural, so we have to use have. His try English food. The answer is his try English food with S. Okay? He has. Okay, because it is singular. He hasn't seen or he hasn't saw. The answer is he hasn't seen, because after we use the past participle has, the word has or hasn't, we have to use the past participle of the verbs seen. He isn't or he hasn't called his parent in the USA. He hasn't called. Number 5, his family are sad because they have missed him, or they have missed him. So for question 4, first we look at the text here. Andrew has gone to Britain. Maksudnya, he's still there. Okay. Andrew has been to Britain. He went there in the past, but he's not there right now. So let's complete the sentences with gone or been. Fiona is not here. She has gone for a walk. I haven't been to Paris, but I love to go. We have been in hot balloon. It was great. Scott hasn't gone to school yet. He's still here. So now we go to the exercise 5. 2.43. Complete the paragraph with the present perfect from the verbs in bracket. Then listen and check. So I will play the audio. You have to check the answer with this audio.
Unit 7. Grammar. Exercise 5. Living with the Amish.
Charlotte is an 18-year-old student from Devon in England. A TV producer has chosen her and 5 other British teenagers to take part in a program called Living with the Amish. Charlotte has lived away from home before, but she hasn't been to the USA. She has just arrived at the airport in Ohio and is very excited. Some members of the Amish family that she will be staying with have come to meet her. Charlotte hasn't got much luggage with her. She has left her fashionable clothes, her laptop computer, and her mobile phone at home. She has not brought her makeup with her either, because Amish women don't wear makeup.
So that's the audio for the article Living with the Amish. So you have to answer the questions by listening carefully. You can re-listen to the audio by playing it again to get the idea to fill in the blanks, the answer. So that's all for lesson for today. Thank you.